There are seriously 2 weeks left.
随分勝手なことを書いているのかもわかります。でも、それでもそうすることしかできませんでした。まだ書かなくちゃいけないことがあります。まず、私には会いに来ないでください。会うと辛くなるだけだから。今はきっと会って話し合えばきっと分かり合える。そんな風にクリスは感じているでしょう。その気持ちが今だけは嘘じゃないことは分かります。でもファルシータさんのことを今よりもより深く知るようになり、過ごす時間が多くなれば、きっとクリスは私のことを忘れられる。いえ、忘れてしまうでしょう。そしてそうしてほしいからこそこんな手紙を書いています。心からそれを望んでいるからこの手紙を書いているんです。今は分からなくてもいいの。これは私にしか分からないことだから。これ以上のどんな言葉を重ねてもクリスは納得できないんだから。それと手紙はもう書かなくていいから。でも絶対にクリスは返事を書いてしまうと思う。だから届いた手紙は読まずに取っておくね。それを破って捨ててしまえるほど私だってまだ心の整理がついていないから。いつか、本当にいつかそんな時が来た時にでも読ませてもらうね。それを読んでも泣いてしまわないくらいに長い時間が経ったら、それでもきっと泣いてしまうんじゃないかって思うけどね。クリス、私からの手紙はこれで最後になります。一方的でひどいことばかり書いてあるけど、本当にこれで最後。ずるくて勝手なことばかり言ってごめんなさい。それでもいつかファルシータさんのことはクリスにも分かる時が来ると思う。その時でいいから、心の中だけでもいいから私のことを許してくれると嬉しいかな。アリエッタ。
Wow. Chris, I'm sorry, man. That came out of the blue. I read the letter several times over, then threw myself down on my bed. Forney didn't show herself at all that night. So Chris basically, like, had a premonition of the breakup when he was playing with Forney. Same old. Actually, the cheer in her voice seemed a bit forced as she repeatedly struck my cheek. While she hadn't shown herself at all last night, I was honestly grateful for her to pull me back into everyday life like this. Morning. Yeah, I know. I wondered if she purposely let me sleep until the very last moment. Come to think of it, how much did Forney know, really? If she had asked me to do an ensemble with her yesterday night, I wouldn't have been able to put up a performance worth a penny. She must have known that, and thus decided not to appear. Right now, she didn't bring it up either. Don't think so.
多分って頼りないな。
No, I have everything.
本当に？それならよし。
Okay, I'm off.
はい、いってらっしゃい。
Her cheerful voice lightened my mood a bit, and I stepped outside into the rain. Today's rain was heavier than usual. If I walked at a relaxed pace, I'd get soaked. I didn't enjoy running, but getting tired seemed like the better alternative for now. I carried my Fortelle in a bag, snugged tightly under my arms to prevent it from getting wet, and hurried off to school. I wasn't used to running, and I began to feel the sequential pain in my lungs soon enough. I wouldn't be able to run all the way there. The main street was roofed, so I didn't have much to worry about there, but that didn't extend for the remainder of the way to the institute. Staying under the eaves as much as possible, I swiftly walked my way up to the school gates. It was pretty pathetic that I was completely out of breath from such a little physical activity. I leaned against a wall to catch my breath. My pulse gradually slowed down, and fatigue killing my legs began to wane. But on the other hand, my chest began to feel heavy. How would I look fall in the eye after what happened yesterday? A smile wasn't going to work. Having said that, I couldn't be all doom and despair either. Fall would get concerned and ask what happened. I wasn't sure I could give a proper answer in that case. My feelings were still in too much disarray to be able to tell her the truth. Just like Arietta's, of which she spoke in her letter. Which I do hope you write back, Chris. You should. I was utterly confused and disconcerted. But time moved on, and my obligations wouldn't just disappear into thin air. I took one last deep breath and headed for the practice room. Good morning. Fall greeted me from her chair, then went back to reading the sheet she was holding. Feeling fortunate that she wouldn't be looking at my face, I set up my Fortelle and lowered myself behind it. I would probably be able to get my mind off things if I played for a bit. As though having sensed my desire to start as soon as possible, Fall said brightly, "Good idea. Then let's begin." Oh, I'm playing. Okay. I gotta take this out. 5 stars again. I'm getting much better at this. A performance ended and I was forcefully thrown back into reality. What I found there was Fall's sweet smile. What do you mean? I had an idea as to what she was referring to. I couldn't help but notice this as well as I was performing. I produced a different sound than I normally would. The tone quality itself hadn't changed. After all, it was the same Fortelle as always, as was my technique in playing it. But it ended as though the emotions in Forney's voice yesterday had now transferred to me. I probably couldn't pass this off as being nothing to Fall. I guess. I gave her some vague reply and didn't think it would end the topic, but I had nothing else to say. Huh? This wasn't about the performance being good or bad. It was completely meaningless to grade such a thing, but Fall sensed something within my sounds and apparently interpreted it as being a positive change. And she didn't inquire any more. Instead, she requested we perform again. It was almost like Forney had done this morning. Okay, let's do it. Am I playing again? Oh, okay. Our practice session continued without incident. I accepted and surrendered myself to the changes within me and continued playing. I obviously hadn't come yet to terms with the situation around it, but at least I could no longer feel anxiety or irritation as I was performing. However, it was no justification for keeping this from Fall forever. I had to disclose everything to her in the near future. Tell Torta first, please. Tell Torta. She had a right to know, for one, but I also wanted her to know. Perhaps I was seeking pity, a self-centered hope that she might accept me instead. While I hated myself for thinking like that, I could only keep pondering the best time to reveal everything. Fade to black, what happened? Oh, new day? Okay. After the practice session yesterday with Fall, I had been able to calm down. The sudden letter from Ari that ended our relationship. I hadn't yet written my reply. Well, it's good that you're thinking about writing a reply. It didn't go as Ari predicted, but I would no doubt write her something sooner or later. Yep. My moderate exhaustion felt sort of pleasant and made me want to plop down in a bed right after getting home. And then wake up the next morning and immediately start rehearsing like crazy again until Fall had to leave for work. It was the only kind of lifestyle I could imagine having right now. Yes? Yeah, sure. I was afraid she would ask me about what was going on with me, but apparently it wasn't that. Relief came over me and I replied without thinking. Not that I had a problem with having dinner with her or anything. A smile of relief spread across Fall's face. Immediately after that, Fall sealed her lips again as though regretting what she had just said. And here I was trying to avoid my best to avoid the subject. That's what her eyes told me. She must have realized she had indirectly admitted she knew something was going on despite having been trying to hide it. Because I didn't want her concern to go unappreciated, I couldn't deny it and advance the conversation. Sorry for making you worry. You're right, I'm not feeling too great right now, so I'm in the mood for some good food. Well, we just practiced after all. I can handle a side trip before going home though. You're coming in my room? That's not what I was insinuating. I simply thought this would be a great opportunity to let Fall in on the full story. One wouldn't normally discuss such matters in a public place like Copera, and I couldn't just intrude into Fall's room either. If she came to my room, it would be as good as an opportunity as ever. Never mind. Will you come? Thanks. Then let's go. Do you even have food? Christy, you even have food? Or are you just like, come, follow me. You can cook whatever's on my table. Or in my fridge. I'm gonna stop it here, because I'm tired. I'll record Katawa Shoujo sometime pretty soon, and then I'm hoping I'll have enough for my break. Might have to do one episode every other day, but like this week I think I uploaded one video, so yeah. Sorry about that, but I gotta save it. And then I gotta stop and record Katawa Shoujo.